Women deserve to have a supportive network of like-minded women who empower, discover, and embrace her true divinity. We believe when women feel safe, loved, accepted, they feel empowered to achieve their goals and highest values. And this is what we bring to you through our organization. Okay, here we are again. We just so enjoy your feedback, your questions, your stories, and then that we can sit down and say something to it. I love it. And this time, Diana agreed that she would address the topic of forgiveness, because we also noticed on your stories that it's definitely something that many of you want to do and don't know how to do. The longer we live, the more things I think we have to forgive, either others or ourselves. And it's a great topic now that we are moving into the holidays. I love it. So thank you, Diana, that you had this suggestion, or that you know so much about it. And we want to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, Hilde. Yeah, I think you're right. There's lots of season change in our life where we want to make a transition, want to move forward. And I suggested that topic because I know from myself how much forgiveness can mean and how much it can do for us when we truly are able to forgive major things that have really shaped us in our life and that we usually carry around our whole life, and the bag is just getting heavier and heavier until we start to walk very slow and have almost no more energy in moving towards our goals and our desires. Forgiveness was a topic I really went deep into because I found it honestly very difficult to forgive. It's so easy said. Yeah, just forgive that person, just forgive what happened, just forget it. It's so easy said, right? But in your heart, there is so much attachment, emotional attachment to the situation, the story, what happened, or maybe to the person that hurt you, maybe to, guilt that you feel towards yourself for something you wish you would have done differently, but at that moment you couldn't do it. And then later on, you just feel guilty for years and years, and you just cannot forgive yourself. And you are constantly reminded, and it triggers you. And it comes up all the time, again and again. And that really can eat up our energy. It can really pull us down. And sometimes we can feel that, but often it really happens subconsciously. And when I found a very powerful forgiveness exercise, something that really worked, I really had the desire to just walk around and share it with everyone. Because it really is so difficult to forgive, right? I've tried, I learned from others, write it down, just burn it, or write a letter and never send the letter, just throw it in the trash, but it never felt complete to me. It always felt it's still there, the wound still is there and it needed to heal. So yeah, today I want to guide you through an exercise of forgiveness. It's a self-forgiveness exercise, and you can do the same to forgive someone else. But before we do this exercise, I want to share, or I want to talk a little bit shortly about what is forgiveness. So forgiveness means that you are basically freeing yourself from the energetic attachment, from the bond that is between you and what happened, the situation, or between you and that person of whatever has hurt you. There is an energetic bond, and attached to that is all the emotions, all the pain, all the sadness, the anger, the shame, the guilt, everything that is attached to that. And this bond, it's like a string between you and that situation or that person. And unless you cut that off, that bond, you're constantly giving that energy from that event into your energy from now into your past. And so that energy is missing in your present moment. And it's missing for you to create your life right now and to focus on right now and even in your future. And there's an iceberg theory from Sigmund Freud. Maybe some of you have heard about this. He describes that the iceberg, which is like the top, sticks out of the water, which is about 10%, and the rest of the iceberg, the bigger part, is under the water, which you cannot really see. It's a huge iceberg, but you just see the tiny part at the top, which is 10%, and the other one is 90%. So this he describes as like our mind, our conscious awakening state, what we are thinking about, what is in our memory, in our conscious awareness, is just a little 10% at the top, right? And the rest of that, the 90% under the water, which we cannot access all the time, only maybe when we go in a meditative state or under hypnosis, then we can access these deeper parts inside of us that are there, but just unseen or unable to be seen. And there is all the stories from what we have experienced in our past, together with all the emotions that are attached to that. So there's so much energy happening and living in the past that this is really missing for today. And so this is when you free yourself, when you forgive a person or yourself, then you are able to release that, let that go, and have that now to create for your future or for your present. And as Hilde already said, who can you forgive? You can forgive yourself for something. Maybe you were not true to your values. Maybe you promised yourself you want to do better as a parent, as you have experienced, but maybe you find yourself still struggling with similar situations that your parents went through, and then you feel guilty of not doing a good enough job, right? And you carry around that guilt, and that is also pulling you down. Maybe you have hurt somebody. If it was an accident or if it was on purpose, it doesn't matter. But we all carry a lot of different stories around, and often we need to forgive ourselves. And there's also, of course, we can forgive someone else when somebody else has hurt you and you carry all those resentments inside of you. And you want to really free yourself from the pain that you have experienced. And you must know also, if you don't forgive, what that means. If you don't forgive, then you really hold on to the energetic bond, to the pain. And it's not really hurting the person who hurt you, or it's not hurting the event anymore because that's over. It's only hurting you. So you're just holding on to that pain. And what your brain does is that your left brain, which is responsible for critical thinking and action taking, it will always look into the past and remember what happened, and based on that, predict the future. And then say, well, because of what that happened, I don't want you to experience that pain again. So it wants to protect you. And because of that, I want to give you all the worry and all the fear so that you don't go there again. And it will block any possibilities and opportunities out for you, maybe even the good ones. It wants to protect you. That's its intention, which is good. But you create your own blocks for your future because your brain will predict the future based on your past. And that's, of course, not a good thing for us. And then sometimes it becomes challenging to find trust and hope within yourself or even in the world, right? Because we are reminded of that. And forgiveness doesn't mean that when you do forgive yourself or the person that you delete the past. That doesn't mean that. And it also doesn't mean that we want to pretend that things did not happen, right? When you choose forgiveness, then you will not change the past, but you will change your future. And often we believe even we don't even deserve a better future because of what we experienced or what we did. And then again, we just block our health, we block our relationships, and all these blocks and triggers come. And that's what we want to let go of today. Also,
Diana, I thought it's good to visit this point again, that when we hold on to something, often we think that, oh, yeah, I pay back to that person, or I don't let them go. And they might have totally forgotten it or have a different viewpoint on it and just shake it off and live their life.
yeah.
And that is something I think everybody could think about, that when did I do this and how do I do this? Because forgiving means that we liberate ourselves and don't get stuck with the story and think that we somehow make the other person pay when it's us that is paying for that, for holding on.
Yeah, very well said. That is true. That is what I wanted to say. Exactly. It's not hurting the other person. It's just hurting you.
Yeah.
And you free yourself. Yeah. And when we would be able to think or see a little bigger through God's eyes, the universal energy or whatever you believe in, then we could see everyone's past, present, and future. And then we could also understand that very often the other person is just acting out of pure pain that they have experienced themselves. The story that they have, or that they are carrying around and that has shaped them. And they actually don't even want to be mean or, I don't know, even cut in front of you in the line in the supermarket. Or whatever these little stories, that everyday stories where we could get angry and build ill will towards someone. That is really often not because they even want to do something bad, but because they themselves have experienced pain. And if we can remind us that everyone is usually doing their best they can, and they know how to with the tools that they have at that particular moment, then it becomes also a little more easy. Doesn't justify it, but just as for an example, I had lots of resentments towards my father because I felt that he didn't take care well of the family. He didn't raise and put a lot of love in his children. In fact, often I just felt no love and had so much resentments towards him. That's why I got onto all this forgiveness topic, where I was trying to find out how I can forgive. And this exercise helped a lot. But what I also really learned is his story. I learned about his story. I just needed to listen to the end. I learned about his story and the way he was raised by his parents. And he had experienced something worse than what I experienced. I experienced maybe verbal abuse and neglect, right? But he experienced something far worse. So in his eyes, and with the abilities that he had, he was already able to do much better than what he had experienced. So he still didn't meet my expectation of how to parent and how I would have wished to be parented or raised. But he still did already better. And I have to acknowledge that with the tools and knowledge and capabilities that he had in his situation, he already did better. And so that was also helpful to me, acknowledging that and thinking about that person, that they actually did their best. They knew how at that moment. When you think about that, it's easy said, but if you think about, put yourself in the shoes of the other person, often you find they just can't do better. And what they did, that's already the best they can. But still, it's hard, and I understand that. Therefore, I want to suggest that we now start this exercise. And it is possible that this exercise will bring up a lot of emotions. When I did it the first time, my body reacted very stressed. So I started to sweat, I started to cry, and my heart started to beat out of my chest. And what is really helpful, if you experience anything like that, just take a real deep breath. Use your breath deeply, inhaling slowly and exhaling completely, and work with your breath to go through the emotions. So maybe it's not so, I'm saying this, but don't be afraid that it's going to be so tough. Maybe it's not going to be so tough, but I'm just saying that if you have a moment where you feel it's overwhelming, then remind yourself, use your breath to work through this. And yeah, I would say get yourself comfortable, make sure your phone is on silent so you're not interrupted, and maybe tell the person next door, if you have somebody else close to you, that you need a little time to yourself now so that you're not interrupted. And let me just drink some water. All the talking makes my throat dry. Okay. So whenever you find a comfortable position, we start with a breathing exercise, and then I will guide you through the forgiveness meditation. So we can close our eyes, and we inhale through the nose, and then we always exhale through the mouth. So we just do a very simple breathing exercise, inhaling through the nose slowly, and then exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose deeply and slowly. And then also slowly exhaling and letting everything out. Getting a little more comfortable in your chair. Relaxing a little bit more. And again, deep inhale through the nose. And try to open your heart and your rib cage. Make some space here and expand and fill yourself with oxygen. And then slowly exhaling and allow yourself to sink a little more in your chair. Relax your jaw muscles, your face muscles, your shoulders, let them just drop down. And again, deep inhale through the nose. And then slowly exhaling. And one last deep breath in the nose, slowly. And then exhaling through the mouth. And now you can continue with your normal breathing and just keeping your eyes closed. Imagine now that this is your last day on Earth. You see the slideshow of your life coming by with all the experiences that you had, all the successes that you have achieved, all the people that you have helped in your life, and all the events that you are so proud of yourself. Let those pictures come in front of your eyes and remind yourself of that. Maybe you have a little smile on your face now. And now we want to come to all the parts that didn't go so well. Things you feel ashamed about. Or maybe something where you feel guilty. Maybe the way you treated a person that you feel sorry for now and you wish you would have done it differently. Maybe you took something away from someone or hurt someone. Do you remember a person, someone, where you hurt somebody else? Something where you would like to ask for forgiveness. And it doesn't matter if you did it on purpose or if it was an accident. Just feel into your heart and see what comes up. Whom would you like to ask for forgiveness? And for today, just choose one situation or one person. You can do this exercise again, but I suggest today, go for the biggest one. Go for the most challenging one. Something that you carry around already for a long time in your heart. And when you think about this now, where in your body can you feel this? Where do you feel maybe the guilt, the shame, or the pain? Imagine now that you sit 1 meter across from yourself and you look into your eyes. And if that's difficult, then you can also imagine that you look into the mirror, into your eyes. And we just want to check in now to see where you're at. If you would be able to say, I forgive you for what happened right away, would that come easy to you now? Or would that be very difficult? No judgment, just checking in. Imagine now that you are a very cute little toddler, 2 years old. You are so innocent, pure potential. Pure love. Your character was just building when you were so small. Can you remember maybe a picture of yourself, what you looked like when you were 2 years old? Can you remember what it felt like? Remember how easy it was for you to learn. How easy it was when you fell down to stand back up again. And also how easy it was to forgive. And now try to go back a little more in time. And now try to go back a little more in time. Seeing yourself as a small baby in your mother's arms. How she looked at you with so much joy, with so much gratitude, and with so much love in her eyes for you. Remember that you were born out of pure energy, out of pure love. Can you look at the baby and say, I forgive you. You are perfect the way you are. Whatever you did or whatever you will do, I forgive you. You deserve forgiveness. You deserve forgiveness. And now let's fast forward in time and imagine you're 100 years old and you're standing on your own deathbed. And you see this 100-year-old version of yourself. You lived well. You loved. You experienced and learned so much in life. You have wrinkles on your face, on your hand. Your skin is dry. Can you forgive that 100-year-old version of yourself? Whatever you did and whatever you feel ashamed of, can you forgive yourself before you leave this body and before you leave this planet? So that you don't have to take the baggage with you. Now look into the eyes of your 100-year-old version. Look into your eyes and say, I forgive you. I forgive you. You deserve forgiveness. And now come back into the present moment. Come back to yourself, to the person that you are now. And see yourself sitting across from you again, looking into your own eyes. And now hold that event, whatever happened, in your hand and in your awareness. And look into your own eyes. And say, I forgive you. You deserve forgiveness. You are perfect the way you are. You did the best you knew how, with the tools that you had, with the tools that you had at that time. Now, take a deep breath in and out. And now I want to ask you to cut the energetic bond between you and that event. Take a scissor, take a hammer, use fire, whatever you need to cut the bond between you and what happened. Cut off the guilt, the shame, and the pain. Cut it off now. And imagine now the weight that is falling off your shoulders. All the weight and the blame that you have carried. All those days, months, or even years. And take a deep breath in again. And as you exhale, let any remaining negative emotion just let it go with your exhalation. Let it go. And imagine that you transform all the guilt and the pain and the anger you had maybe towards yourself. How you transform that now into pure energy, into gratitude, into trust and hope. And check in again with your body and see how you're feeling now. How do you feel now? And I want to invite you to take a last deep, beautiful breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes. I hope that you feel a little lighter now. And You might feel also like crying, some of you maybe. Please do not repress that. Just allow yourself to feel those emotions for a little while. You can also journal about that, about the experience that you had. And it's also possible that you want to repeat that exercise. Sometimes we have to do it a few times for the same event until we feel, okay, it is okay now. I have peace with what happened now. You will feel it in your heart. And you can do the same exercise also when you want to forgive someone else. Then you just imagine that little cute toddler and baby to be the other person that you want to forgive. And then see how your energy is really shifting on a deeper level, how you can release some of the blocks that you are holding and hopefully move forward with more confidence and more love and trust in life. Thank you, Hilde, for joining on this exercise.
Well, thank you. I want to say what I experience is really that I feel lighter. I think also my face changed.
You look a little brighter, yeah.
Brighter, exactly.
Brighter, yeah.
Exactly. I was sleepy today. And I forgot it. Please cut that out. A little brighter, but I don't know. I forgot.
No problem. Yeah, so thank you for...
Well, I know what I wanted to say. You
Okay.
know, if people see this, I yawned several times, and I know that it's so good when it's a sign of release that when we are yawning. And I have to say, sometimes when my clients on the other side just can't quite let go, I'm so sensitive. I absorb this. I feel it. I yawn for them or with them, and then then they see it, and then they yawn. You know, we sometimes think, oh, I want to hide it. But when we do meditation and exercises like this, it's actually really important to let go. Keep letting go.
Yeah, that's interesting with the yawning. I learned this from you also when I did an EFT session with you. You said this to me. I thought that's very interesting. It's a release of the energy. It's a good sign. Yeah. Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was great, Diana. It's good that we, you know, for a change, not so much theory, but that we get a recorded exercise that we can replay over and over and over until we can let go of certain things, forgive, look brighter, lighter, and use our energy instead of from the past or going to the past, that we really can use it in the moment and in building a better future.
Yeah.
Thank you, and we see everybody next time.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing and hear from you all.